The sacred scripture says, let us quiet down so as to hear the assuring voice of Jesus. Do not be afraid, it is I. The 19th Sunday of the year. The gospel that we have for our reflection this Sunday is from St. Matthew chapter 14, verses 22 to 33. We have the episode of Jesus walking on the water and inviting St. Peter to walk toward him. When the boat in which the disciples were traveling were risking a boat capsize. There was a terrible storm in the Sea of Galilee, and the disciples were afraid, and they called out to the Lord, Lord, save me, in the person of St. Peter. This makes us reflect of the different storms that could possibly rage in the church and in our own personal life. No epoch, no period of history has been exempt from some moments of crisis. Right now, the church faces the terrible persecution of the church in different parts of the world, along with the sex scandal involved in the clergy, etc. Now, the church has faced similar storms, whether it is persecution, whether it is heresy, whether it is the moral degradation of the church, of the faithful or the clergy. And yet the Lord has continually intervened to save the church. Our own personal life is subject to some moments of uncertainties, fears, and storms, inner storms. And it is on this occasion we could possibly remember what the sacred scripture says. Let us quiet down so as to hear the assuring voice of Jesus. Do not be afraid, it is I. Whatever be the instance or whatever be the circumstances that seem to shake our equanimity, disturbs our calmness, let us remember that the closeness of Jesus to us and our own calmness to hear him is an important factor. There are times perhaps our mental energy is very low. We are unable to say long prayer. We are so disturbed and so much shaken up. That is then perhaps the cry of St. Peter, Lord, save me. A short, quick prayer will save us, will help us restore the calm that we terribly need. My dear brothers and sisters, when our own founder, St. John the Matter, toward the end of the 12th century, when there was a terrible storm in the church raging, namely the Crusades, when numberless Christians were facing the danger of captivity from the hands of the Saracens and the uncertainty of losing or perhaps forsaking their faith, St. John the Matter, in his first Mass, received a vision that assured him of the presence of Jesus. Jesus gloriously sitting on a throne, flanked by two captives, one Christian, the other one a non-Christian. Both were enchained at their feet and at their ankles, but both of them were facing the storm of captivity. And St. John the Matter, after having seen that vision, was inspired to found the Order of the Most Holy Trinity and of the captives. Yes, that was a response for the time. And that particular storm of religious persecution continues even in my own country, like in Manipur in Northeast India. In countries like Nicaragua, Nigeria, terrible storms are raging within the church. Does not involve just a few people in a few places, but it's an extensive and flagrant phenomena. But it is at this time the presence of the Lord must be felt. We must calm our fears so as to hear the assuring voice of Christ. Do not be afraid, it is I. May we turn to Christ often in prayer. If unable to make long prayers, let us have a quick, ready prayer in our heart and on our lips, such as, Lord, save me, and surely He will come to our rescue.